hello. Welcome to Cream Talks, short talks about creamy subjects. I'm your host, SnookAjab, aka the Seat Swap Sniper King of Warzone. And today's creamy topic is going to be about the maps of Warzone. I think they're talking about reinventing the game probably next year. And then new maps. We got the new map coming out. I forget what it's called, but the new smaller map that they played at the last COD event. I was watching footage of that this morning. It looks pretty good. It looks like a very colorful map. Looks like a good varied terrain, buildings along with open area, and kind of reminds me, like the layout and the vibe kind of reminds me of Fortune's Keep. So I'm excited to play that. Then there's what do they call it? I forget. The new supposed big map or Black Ops style map. That one I'm not as excited about. But I thought it'd be fun to do a little walk down memory lane, because I think we all have our favorites. But as I went down a list of all the maps, I realized they've done a pretty good job with a lot of these maps. I think we all have complaints about them when they come out. Sometimes they're not what we want, or we have not as good memories of it as other maps that we like more. But if you look back critically, sometimes there were extenuating circumstances for why the map wasn't good, quote unquote good. Sometimes it's the meta, sometimes it's the game itself, sometimes it has nothing to do with the map design. It's just rather how the game was playing at the time that it was introduced. So, starting with number one in March 2020, the big Verdansk, the breakthrough, the blueprint, the culture maker, the COVID, and the map we have now. It's not a lot to say about that. It's a masterpiece. I think the interesting thing about it is how they stumbled upon greatness. They didn't. The Verdansk is basically a bunch of ground war maps put together from Modern Warfare 2, and somehow I don't think they had a master plan. I think they literally took those maps, they put them together, kind of stitched them together, and somehow they added some additional points of interest, and somehow they stumbled upon greatness. And I think it's the groundwork they did on those ground war maps, because they really were pushing ground war back then, and they really, I didn't really enjoy ground war that much, other than just getting my sniper leveled up. It was great for that. But because they put a lot of effort into those individual ground war maps, when they did stitch them together, magic happened. Then everybody's favorite, probably the one most people would vote for, I think, with the Rebirth Island. About a year later, Rebirth Island comes out. I can't say too much about that. Again, just right out of the gate greatness. Fantastic. Oh, we got a bunch of people just joined up. Hello, Elias. Hello, Motto. Thank you guys for tapping in. Appreciate it. Appreciate your subscription and like. I get up to 500 subscribers. Every subscriber matters. So thank you very much. I mean, Rebirth, again, we have it now. The map is so good. They're going to take it away at some point. Again, they'll take it away from us, but it's a map they're always going to go back to. They're always going to reintroduce it whenever their numbers are down, the game is stale. That's something that they're going to be able to count on. So I don't think that map will ever go away completely. That one plays well in solos, duos, trios, and quads. It plays well Rebirth. It plays well Buyback. Just all around greatness. Can't go wrong with Rebirth. Then they got Verdansk 84. Basically a makeover. I wasn't a huge fan of what they did. Then they added in all these weird things like the red doors and stuff like that. They knocked down Stadium, and basically Stadium was a terrible point of interest with the changes they made. Fortunately, downtown was different, but it was still a good downtown point of interest. And then Dam, they redid Dam. Dam didn't play as well as either. So I was happy to keep, playing Verdansk. But they don't have to bring that back. Verdansk 84. I'd be more interested in a future version of Verdansk. Maybe push it forward, 20, 40 years. Have it be, like more of a modern city vibe and that kind of stuff. A modern airport. I think that could be a cool idea for whenever they want to relaunch Verdansk. Then we get to Caldera. World War II Caldera. I had good times on that map. A lot of good gameplay. It was still the Warzone 1 engine, which felt really good. The problem with Caldera was that it was in World War II era, number one. And the second problem was a giant volcano in the middle of the map. I think, I don't think they were wrong to try that. I'm okay with having a huge point of interest in the middle of the map, but it just didn't work. For some reason, having a giant volcano in the middle of the map just kind of... I contend that the map might have played so much better if they had moved that volcano to the edge of the map and maybe put like some other point of interest in the middle, like maybe airfield. There was a lot of good fights happened on airfield, and if you could push that to maybe the middle of the map and then get that huge freaking volcano to the side, maybe it would have been better. Got a fly on my camera. The other issue, of course, was the weird vehicles. I was down with the planes. I thought the planes were okay. I know a lot of people hated on it. I thought the fighter planes were fine. The bombing thing was, the whole bombing thing was kind of wild. It's kind of crazy. People bombing your loadout and making it disappear from the map. Bad memories about that, So all in all, Caldera, and then the Godzilla versus King Kong, that was kind of cool for like a couple hours, but then, it's just too much. This is Call of Duty. That's just too much. That's too much. Fortune's Keep. Fortune's Keep was a little bit polarizing, but I think most people have good memories of it. I think it was a good map. The way, the layout of it, the flow, the variety of the buildings, you had rooftops, you had the castle. I didn't really like the underground part of it. I thought there was too much there. I don't mind a cave or two, maybe a passage, but there was a little bit too much going on beneath the surface of Vondel. So it's mid. I think I'm sorry, Fortune's Keep. I think it's a little bit mid. But I know a lot of people are a big fan of it. And I wouldn't be opposed to them bringing it back, for limited time. I think it'd be cool. Then we got Al Mazrah, and this is the introduction of Warzone 2, which nobody liked, right? There was so much wrong with Warzone 2 that it's not worth getting into here. And I think, unfortunately, it kind of... You can't talk about Al Mazrah without, because we never got to play Al Mazrah before they fixed Warzone 2 and fixed the movement, fixed a lot of the aiming idle sway problems and stuff. Gave us a lot of standard perks that they standardized some of the perks as just being a base part of the game. And it started to play better, but that was after Al Mazrah was gone. I loved downtown Al Mazrah. I thought, really tall buildings. There was too much desert, too much open desert. It's kind of way too much open area in the desert. So, yeah. So Al Mazrah, I think if they could redo it, reintroduce it with the current iteration of Warzone, it has a chance. It has a chance, but because of the history, because of the, I don't even have any good memories in the Mass Effect. Bad memories, bad memories. So they can keep that one. Ashika Island. How about Ashika Island? Good map. Good map. I don't think, I think they had just had it in there too long. You know, it kind of, I think everyone liked it at first. And again, that was also, they still had the old Warzone 2 mechanics when Ashika Island first launched, but they brought it back. They brought it back later with where they fixed a lot of the stuff. They did a lot of fixing in Warzone 2, and it was much more enjoyable at that point. And a lot of people, it's their favorite. You know, most people wouldn't have that over Rebirth Island, but I hear people say, "Bring Ashika back, bring Ashika back." You know, so decent map, good job. Then Vondel. I think Vondel is very polarizing. Vondel was one of my favorites. I loved it. Now, again, the thing with Vondel is when it first came out, Warzone 2 mechanics, right? There was no one-shot snipers, bad movement, crazy aiming idle sway, all kinds of weird mechanics. It just felt sluggish, you know, all that stuff. But as they fixed the game, it became a lot better. I love Vondel. I love a lot of, you know, the apartment buildings that have rooftop gameplay as well as stairway corridor gameplay. You know, for shotgun sniper loadout player like myself, that was awesome. And then throwing knives were really good back then too. You could down people in the stairwells with throwing knives. I got old clips of just throwing knife compilations, just getting those one-shot downs. And I know everyone's not a fan of that, but for me, I enjoyed it a lot. It was good times. So the other thing about Vondel is it played well as a resurgence map, and they had versions that weren't resurgence, and I really enjoyed those ones. I really enjoyed playing it as a standard battle royale map. I thought it really worked. Thought it worked good. So I'm down for them bringing Vondel back, especially with the current version of the Warzone, the way it plays. Hell yeah, bring Vondel back. I would love that. And then Urzikstan, another polarizing map. I enjoyed it. I thought Urzikstan, I was just happy to have a Warzone that played well again. I thought the map layout was great. Not much I would actually change. Again, the thing I think with Urzikstan is the state of the game, right? The state of the game, all the redeploy flares. And this also, Vondel and Urzikstan had these hard gas pulls. So you get to the end of the battle royale, you get these crazy hard gas pulls, which introduced a lot of RNG to the end of the game, which I think most hardcore battle royale players don't. It was just too much, you know. You're in a power position, and all of a sudden, the next circle pulls like a whole 80 meters away from you. So everyone's just scrambling, and it's just a bunch of random, you know, a lot of randomness determining who wins, and that's, you know, that's really the problem. The map itself, I think Urzikstan, it was pretty good. And the vehicles, right? So the vehicles were nerfed. Helicopters sucked. The only vehicle even worth using was the armored personnel carrier. Just bad vehicle play. Not necessarily a bad map, really. I'd be down for them to bring it back in the future. I would definitely be cool with playing that. Then we got the reintroduction of Rebirth Island and Verdansk. And here we are, back at square one, playing the same maps we started with almost 6 years later. Thanks for the comments, staying off the grid. Really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate the engagement. Thanks for letting your opinion be known. But I think I'll call it at that. You know, let me know in the comments what your favorite map was. It's really, they're promising this new standalone version of Warzone, and hopefully that means map rotations. I think that's what really helped keep the game from growing stale. You know, I don't know if it's technically possible. I don't know if people have enough room on their hard drives. But at least for the small maps, you know, a rotation of Ashika, Vondel, and Rebirth Island, tell me that's not money. Tell me that's not money. You know, that's a printing money right there. So, yeah, I think we'll call it here. Hopefully we got a subscriber or two out of these folks watching. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Stay getting that chicken and keep posting creamy clips. I'm out. GG's.